Hey, this is Michael Mann from Michael Mann Security Services, and we're in Franklin, Tennessee on a chilly morning, and I'm completing the second day of a two-day urban rifle class. Urban rifle meaning the use of the carbine or rifle in handgun distances, so very specifically for self-defense. We got two groups here today. I've got parts of our church security team, and we have another corporate security team with us. No, we don't deploy rifles at our church. Our church security team doesn't do that. We do have armed folks, but they are not armed with rifles. This is just something that they get as a reward for service. So we're not here to talk about that today. What we're here to talk about is I've received several emails or questions, and also I've noticed some questions and just some concerns on some of the church security Facebook pages about church security teams and the deployment of rifles in your church. So I've been involved in physical protection for 32 years, and here about the last 15 years, very specifically with the design, evaluation, and implementation of physical protection programs to include the use of carbines or rifles. And so I just very quickly want to go over the template that I have used for big corporations, critical infrastructure, private Christian schools, and churches who have deployed rifles based on a request to me. So just some things I've learned based on, again, a template I've designed, and I hope it helps you guys out there that are trying to protect your houses of worship and your other ministries if you decide to deploy rifles. So number one, just the legalities around it. Most churches, I'm assuming in the majority of states, I'm in the South, but I assume, like here, churches everywhere else are private businesses, and more than likely you're able to deploy whatever you want to inside that church, but check your state law just to make sure. The second issue around just legal stuff would be, like us, if you've decided to become a proprietary security organization or you have a proprietary security license, which means you've licensed your security team as armed security guards, check the state laws and make sure that a carbine or a rifle is actually a choice or an option for armed security guards in your state. The next element that I would pay attention to or just take a look at is if you've had any comprehensive training in firearms, you do understand that training with the use of a carbine is a little bit more difficult than it is with a handgun. So that would be something I would look at. Make sure that you have a standard in place to make sure that the persons that are deploying that rifle or carbine understand how to use that carbine effectively. The next thing and the most important element, I believe, is conflict avoidance, and that's one of our three physical security design measures when we talk about designing physical protection programs. And what I mean by that is, before you deploy the rifles, make sure your church doesn't have a conflict with you deploying that actual weapon system. It's very, very difficult, in my experience in designing physical protection programs, to protect an organization or person that has some sort of a problem or conflict with your security program. And then, of course, the last thing is just access. If you're going to have these rifles in your church or somewhere close to where you can get to them, just make sure that access is restricted only to those folks that are going to need to deploy those weapons in the case of an emergency. Hey, I hope I've helped you today. If you have any questions, you can email us at contact@michaelmannsecurityservices.com. You can go to our website at michaelmannsecurityservices.com and ask a question. We've got a bunch of free resources on that website regarding church security and church security teams, or you can visit us on Facebook or Instagram. And remember, it's about prevention, not response.